Jane Fonda didn't just live through Hollywood's golden age, she rewrote it. But behind the fame, awards, and activism was a turbulent love life that mirrored her many reinventions. From secret crushes to open marriages and power couple headlines, her relationships weren't just romantic. They were political, explosive, and deeply personal. Each man revealed a new side of Jane, and each departure shaped her future. So who were the men who captured her heart? And why did she leave every single one of them behind? The answers may surprise you. Robert Redford, the on-screen lover. She never had off-screen. Jane Fonda and Robert Redford were electric on screen, but behind the camera, their connection was bittersweet. They starred together in 4 films across 5 decades, including The Chase, 1966, Barefoot in the Park, 1967, The Electric Horseman, 1979, and Our Souls at Night, 2017. Fonda later admitted she fell in love with Redford multiple times during filming, despite both of them being married at the time. She once joked at Cannes, "I live for sex scenes with him. He's a great kisser." Yet, Redford remained emotionally unavailable. Fonda confessed he was often in a bad mood on set and had issues with women, making intimacy difficult. In interviews, Redford praised her strength but never indicated deeper feelings. Their bond was genuine, but limited to the characters they played. It was the kind of chemistry that sizzled in fiction, but never translated to reality. But if Redford was the love that never was, the next man changed her image and her world. Roger Vadim, the man who made her a sex symbol, then broke her. When Jane Fonda met French director Roger Vadim in 1965, she was still trying to break out of her famous father's shadow. Vadim, best known for launching Brigitte Bardot's career, immediately saw potential in Jane and quickly molded her into his next muse. That same year, they married, and Vadim began shaping her image, culminating in her starring role in Barbarella, 1968, a cult sci-fi film that redefined her as a seductive icon. Jane credited him for helping her embrace her sexuality, but it came at a cost. Their marriage was famously open, with Vadim having frequent affairs, sometimes bringing women home and encouraging Jane to participate. At first, she went along with it, wanting to please him. But over time, the emotional strain became unbearable. She described feeling empty, saying she had to dissociate from her emotions just to survive. They had a daughter, Vanessa, in 1968, but by 1973, Jane filed for divorce, exhausted and craving something more meaningful. And she found meaning in a revolution, and in the arms of a radical activist, Tom Hayden, the political partner who stifled her voice. Jane Fonda met activist Tom Hayden in 1972 during her peak anti-Vietnam War activism. He was a co-founder of Students for a Democratic Society and one of the Chicago 7, known for protesting the 1968 Democratic Convention. They married in January 1973, just 1 week after her divorce from Vadim. Their union was built on shared ideals. They fought for civil rights, environmental justice, and economic reform. Together, they launched the Campaign for Economic Democracy in California and co-wrote political books like The Day-to-Day Nightmare of American Pursuit of Vietnamese National Liberation. They had a son, Troy Garrity, that same year. But behind the activism, Jane felt like she had to dim her light. She later confessed she molded herself to support Hayden, often putting his needs above her own. During this time, she also battled bulimia, something she later attributed to the emotional repression she felt. After 17 years of marriage, they divorced in 1990, but remained on good terms for their son's sake. But just as she reclaimed her power, a billionaire walked into her life and swept her off her feet. Ted Turner, the tycoon who tried to control her Jane, met Ted Turner, the brash founder of CNN and former owner of the Atlanta Braves, in the late 80s. Their energies clashed, and that's exactly what drew her in. Turner was loud, charismatic, and unapologetically dominant. They married in December 1991, and for a while, it felt like a fairy tale. Jane temporarily stepped back from acting, joining Turner in his globe-trotting lifestyle and philanthropic efforts, including nuclear disarmament and wildlife conservation. But things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Jane revealed in interviews that Turner had little interest in introspection or emotional depth. He was constantly on the move, and she often felt like she was playing catch-up. She even said she felt like she had to disappear to fit into his world. After nearly a decade, they separated in 2000 and officially divorced in 2001. Still, Jane has spoken kindly of Turner, calling him brilliant and generous, but also too much to keep up with. Then came a quieter, more tender chapter, a kind of love she'd never had before. Richard Perry, the unexpected love that finally felt safe. In 2009, Jane underwent knee surgery, and out of that pain came an unexpected gift: Richard Perry. A celebrated music producer behind hits for Carly Simon, Barbra Streisand, and Rod Stewart, Perry became her companion during recovery. Jane later joked, "I went to LA for a new knee and came back with a new lover." For 8 years, Perry provided something none of her previous partners had: stability and emotional safety. She called him her best lover, not for the physicality, but for the intimacy. He made her feel secure in ways she hadn't known before. But in 2017, they amicably separated. Jane said she needed to be fully herself and alone. Her children also encouraged the move, feeling their mother had spent too much of her life adapting to others. Even post-breakup, they stayed close friends. For Jane, Perry wasn't just a lover. He was proof she could love gently without losing herself. And in that moment, Jane found what none of her men could ever truly offer her. Every chapter of Jane Fonda's love life taught her something, but none of them completed her. Redford showed her how deep connection could feel. Vadim transformed her physically, but left her spiritually starved. Hayden inspired her intellectually, but silenced her emotionally. Turner offered wealth and power, but demanded too much. Perry gave her peace, but even that wasn't enough. Through them all, Jane didn't just survive, she transformed. She became more honest, more powerful, and more herself. In her words, "It took me a long time to become the woman I am." Maybe that's because her real love story was never about any man. It was about finally learning how to love herself.